Understanding narcissism in relationships is pivotal for unmasking the hidden red flags that can often remain obscured until it's too late. Narcissism, in a psychological context, is characterized by an excessive preoccupation with oneself, a need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. This personality trait can manifest in relationships through behaviors that prioritize one's needs over a partner's, creating an imbalance that often leads to emotional distress. The significance of recognizing narcissism in relationships lies in its potential to prevent emotional harm. Relationships are fundamentally about mutual support, understanding, and growth. However, when one partner exhibits narcissistic traits, these foundational elements are compromised. The narcissist's inability to empathize can lead to manipulation, where the partner may feel undervalued, unheard, and perpetually at fault. To illustrate, consider a partner who always redirects conversations to themselves, subtly shifting any situation to highlight their achievements or how they've been wronged. This self-centeredness can erode the partner's self-esteem over time, as their needs and accomplishments are consistently overshadowed. Another example is the use of gaslighting, a form of emotional manipulation where the narcissistic partner denies the reality of their actions or words, causing the partner to doubt their perception and memory. This tactic can leave lasting emotional scars and has been recognized as a common phenomenon in relationships involving narcissism. Some experts advocate for greater public awareness of how narcissism can manifest in intimate relationships, emphasizing the need for education to prevent long-term psychological harm. However, diagnosing narcissism isn't straightforward. One challenge is the tendency for society to sometimes confuse confidence with narcissism, leading to mislabeling. Additionally, narcissists can be very charming initially, making it difficult to identify red flags early on. There are alternative viewpoints that highlight the potential for narcissists to change, given proper therapeutic intervention. Critics also note that labeling someone as a narcissist can stigmatize and limit their potential for self-improvement if they are genuinely willing to work on their behaviors. Understanding narcissism's role in relationships is essential as it connects directly to identifying red flags. Recognizing these traits early can empower individuals to set boundaries or seek help, thereby mitigating emotional harm. This comprehension also influences broader discussions on maintaining healthy relationship dynamics and promoting mental well-being, reinforcing the intricate balance necessary for nurturing and fulfilling relationships. Recognizing the early signs of narcissism is crucial in understanding and addressing the dynamics of a relationship with a narcissist. Narcissism, from a psychological perspective, is characterized by an excessive need for admiration, a sense of entitlement, and a lack of empathy. This condition often leads individuals to manipulate and exploit others for personal gain. Recognizing these signs early can prevent emotional harm and enable individuals to make informed decisions about their relationships. In the broader context of unmasking the narcissist, identifying these red flags early is foundational. It sets the stage for uncovering deeper issues and patterns of behavior that may be damaging. By understanding these traits, individuals can safeguard their emotional well-being and take steps to address or exit toxic relationships. Consider the example of excessive admiration-seeking behavior. A person exhibiting early signs of narcissism may constantly seek praise and validation, often exaggerating achievements or fishing for compliments to boost their fragile self-esteem. Another example is a consistent lack of empathy, where the individual shows little genuine interest in the feelings or experiences of their partner, often dismissing them as irrelevant or unimportant. Experts in psychology and relationships, such as Dr. Craig Malkin and Dr. Ramani Durvasula, emphasize the importance of recognizing these traits. They argue that early identification can prevent long-term psychological damage, as narcissists can be skilled at weaving deceptive narratives that trap their partners in cycles of confusion and self-doubt. However, identifying early signs of narcissism isn't without its challenges. Personality traits exist on a spectrum, and some behaviors might be misconstrued as narcissistic when they are not. For instance, self-confidence can be mistaken for narcissism when in reality, the behavior is healthy and grounded. Furthermore, societal biases might blur these lines, labeling assertiveness or ambition, especially in certain groups, as narcissistic when it is entirely justified. Recognizing early signs not only helps in avoiding unhealthy relationships, but also in promoting healthy interactions. It underscores the importance of boundaries, mutual respect, and empathy, traits necessary for a healthy relational dynamic. By acknowledging these facets early on, individuals are better equipped to foster positive, nurturing relationships, simultaneously addressing and minimizing the potential negative impact of narcissism. This layer of awareness profoundly influences how we approach relationships, potentially transforming them from sources of distress into realms of support and growth. Manipulation tactics and emotional abuse are often insidious components in relationships with narcissists, where the narcissist seeks to control or influence their partner to maintain a sense of dominance and superiority. These tactics are psychological strategies used to manipulate a partner's thoughts, emotions, and actions, often leaving the victim feeling confused, belittled, or dependent. Emotional abuse in this context can manifest as gaslighting, belittling, or consistent criticism designed to erode the partner's self-esteem and sense of reality. The significance of understanding manipulation tactics and emotional abuse in the context of unmasking the narcissist is paramount. Identifying these behaviors can serve as a red flag for individuals to recognize unhealthy patterns in their relationship early on. Without this awareness, individuals may find themselves trapped in cycles of abuse, suffering significant emotional and psychological harm. Consider the tactic of gaslighting, for instance, where the narcissist intentionally leads their partner to doubt their own thoughts or feelings, making them question their sanity. This could involve a situation where one partner insists that events never happened the way the other remembers, undermining their credibility and independence. Another example is silent treatment, where the narcissist withholds communication to punish or control their partner, leaving them in a state of distress or anxiety over the relationship's status. Experts emphasize the severe impact this can have. According to many psychologists, prolonged exposure to these tactics can lead to a condition known as complex PTSD, as the sufferer grapples with the internalization of constant psychological manipulation. However, this issue is not without its controversies. Skeptics may argue that the label of narcissist is overused, and can domestic disputes that include verbal conflict or manipulation. Others may view certain behaviors as resulting from broader systemic issues like stress, rather than indicative of narcissism. Manipulation tactics and emotional abuse do not exist in isolation, but are often interwoven with other narcissistic behaviors such as entitlement and a lack of empathy. These attributes contribute to the narcissist's ability to justify their actions without remorse. Recognizing and understanding these behaviors are crucial in empowering individuals to seek help or exit toxic relationships, emphasizing the importance of awareness and education in identifying the hidden dangers of narcissism. Narcissism, characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for others, can profoundly impact mental health, not only for the narcissist, but significantly for their partners. This characteristic behavior often leads to manipulation, gaslighting, and emotional abuse within relationships, contributing to psychological distress. Understanding the impact of narcissism on mental health is crucial, as it helps to recognize the unspoken, often hidden, burden on those involved in these relationships. The significance of this point lies in the recognition and validation of the mental strain placed on partners of narcissists. Those in relationships with narcissists often experience diminished self-esteem, anxiety, depression, and even post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. By examining these impacts, individuals can become more aware of the psychological red flags in their own relationships, potentially leading to timely intervention and support. Consider Sarah, a woman who spent years in a relationship with a narcissistic partner. Initially charmed by his charismatic personality, she found herself constantly second-guessing her reality due to his persistent gaslighting. Over time, her self-worth eroded, leading to severe anxiety and depression. Another example is James, who lived in constant fear of his partner's volatile reactions. The prolonged exposure to such a toxic environment resulted in chronic stress and eventual emotional exhaustion. Experts in psychology and mental health validate these experiences, emphasizing that prolonged exposure to narcissistic abuse can alter a person's psyche. The American Psychological Association notes that the emotional manipulation tactics employed by narcissists can lead to long-term mental health issues, highlighting the importance of recognizing these signs early. However, not everyone views this dynamic through the same lens. Some argue that the label of narcissism is overused or misapplied, potentially stigmatizing individuals who might exhibit narcissistic traits due to other underlying issues. Critics caution against over-pathologizing behavior and suggest a careful, nuanced approach to understanding each individual case. The impact of narcissism on mental health directly connects to the broader topic of identifying hidden red flags in a relationship. By understanding the mental health implications, individuals can better recognize these red flags, paving the way for healthier relationships. Furthermore, this awareness fosters a culture of empathy and support for those affected, encouraging open conversations about mental well-being and promoting healing. Thus, addressing the impact of narcissism on mental health is a pivotal step in unmasking the true nature of harmful relationship dynamics.